Louis Trinidad from Oxnard, and I had people like Chispas from East LA, and Big D was part of my ministry too while he was alive, and in fact even Roebuck, believe it or not, was part of my ministry for a while. And they said, there's Kilroy. And I had heard of him, but I never knew who he was. So I walked over and introduced myself to him, and you know, I asked him if he'd like to be part of the prison ministry. And he said that at that time, he said he didn't know whether he could be cleared, but I said, well, let's try it and see what we can do. And that's how I got to know Kilroy at first. And then later on, I got him involved with my ministry. And yeah, the first time that Kilroy went with me to the prison ministry, we had a service scheduled for Saturday morning, and when we got to the prison, they were on lockdown. So instead of going home, I asked Kilroy if he wanted to go with me to do cell to cell in the prison there. So that was his first taste of prison ministry with me, is going cell to cell in the prison in the prison cells. And you know, you'd be surprised how many people recognized him and knew who he was. And you know, there was one guy that was there that he knew him, and he couldn't believe that what he was saying. He kept telling him, Kilroy, I can't believe this is you, Kilroy. And you know, a lot of people knew him. And in fact, after that visit, we got when Kilroy was scheduled to go back with me into the prison, there was a lot of guys that wanted to come out just to hear what Kilroy had done to be a part of the Christian living. And you know, he was a great example for us that day in the prison cells, because you know, his reputation carries, and people knew him, and they wanted to get what he had. You know, that joy. You could see the joy that Kilroy had, you know, for the Lord, and so a lot of people wanted to experience that, and we've got a lot of people that have joined our church just because you know, Kilroy has been a part of it. There was another example of another time that me and Kilroy, he's been with me several times in the ministry, but this one certain time we were doing a special in the prison, and we had the whole yard. The whole yard was open for this special ministry that was taking part. So after the ministry was over, me and Kilroy were walking out. We were walking out the last gate of the prison, and we heard somebody call us, and they said they called out to Kilroy. So we both turned around, and there was this associate warden walking towards us, and he walks up to Kilroy. He says, Kilroy, he says, do you remember this certain person that was, and he gave him this name of this certain person that was in prison. And Kilroy says, well, I don't remember him. And he said, you know, he told him, you know, that I was involved in an accident, and I was hurt really bad, and I almost died. And that associate warden said, yeah, he said, I know what I followed your life. He said, I know what you've gone through. He said, but he said, this person that I'm talking about, he was an inmate at this certain prison, and we got into a confrontation, and he's put a contract out on my life. He said he sent it to you. He said you were in lockdown in Pelican Bay. He said he sent the hit to you, and you green-lighted it. He said me and my family had to go into hiding for years because of the contract that had been put out on my life. He said we were scared. Me and my family were scared, so we went into hiding for a while there. And he said, and then Kilroy says, well, he said, I don't remember. He said, I don't remember none of that. He said, but he said, are you a Christian? And the associate warden said, no. He said, I'm not a Christian. He says, I'm a Catholic. And then Kilroy said, well, that's good. He said, he grabbed his hand, let's pray. And they both sat there in the middle of the yard praying. You know, Kilroy prayed first, and then the associate pastor prayed. And you know, it was I'll tell you, it had me almost in tears, for a man that had hidden, him and his family had hidden all his life because of something that had happened through the prison system. And you know, they forgave each other. They hugged, and we walked out. And you know, it was really an amazing thing what God can do in the lives of people. You know,
that's amazing, man. Is there any other stories you want to share about Kilroy, you know, in prison or anything?
Well, you know, when Kilroy goes with me into the prison,